Happy Tuesday. I feel like I always say happy, but have a happy Tuesday today. We're going to have one here at Memory Bound because look at these projects, especially this one, Becky. I love it. And Becky's here today. Becky's back.
Hi.
Our special guest, Becky Thrap, is here. I'm so happy that Katie talked to you about coming in today.
Yeah, she said folio month.
We're doing folios this month.
Yeah.
The month of May is our folio
Yeah.
thing. So that's what we're doing here at Memory Bound. And Becky is so graciously brought in some folios and some other things too.
Yeah, Teresa kind of inspired me to try to do a Scrappy.
You were inspired. I can see why. Look at this. I just want to go roof, roof, roof. I think my grandsons would love this. Becky.
They have all kinds of stuff out there on Pinterest. Frogs, cats,
Frogs? Oh
Halloween
my gosh.
stuff. So I'm going to be making some more. And I didn't cut the pattern out. I just started tearing and cutting.
So you just made your own pattern.
Yep.
And we're going to learn more about that. I'm Kelly, and Becky's here today at Memory Bound Papercraft Store in Ankeny, Iowa. And we're going to show you some of Becky's, I like to call them Tim makes, because if you like Tim Holtz, you're going to love what we've got to show you today for sure. And before we get started, we got people joining us. Becky, looks like Bunny's here, and Donna and Kim. And hello, Karen, and Wendy Jean is here, and Lori. Welcome, everybody. We're glad you're here. It's a special day because we have a special guest. Becky is in the house, which is awesome. And Becky, we always like to say hi to Donna Baker from Bakersfield.
Hi.
How could, you can't really plan that to have your name be Baker and live in Bakersfield. So that's pretty cool. And Jean says, hello, MB friends. So we have a lot of great people joining us. Hi, Barbara. I can actually see some comments. And Leanne just hopped on, says, good morning, everyone. And it is a good morning because you're here at Memory Bound in Ankeny, Iowa. And I'm going to pop the camera up on its stand so we can talk to Becky a little bit. And Becky, the last time you were here, I was out of town, so I didn't get to be here to see you.
Yep.
But she's back. And we're happy to see that. I feel like you're sitting back in the corner.
I do. I feel before I was way over there, and now I'm way over
now
here.
She's way over there. We put Becky in the corner, but that's a good thing because she's got really cool stuff to show us. And before we do that, I'm going to put this right in front of Becky because I want to remind everybody that our Copic sketch markers are $2 off. We are bringing in the Olos. They're actually here in the house, and we got to get our display set up. And so we're going to be moving out the Copics and moving in the Olos for something new and different. I think you guys will really like them when we launch those. So if you need to get some Copics, add to your collection, fill in the colors. It's a really great deal. And then the other special we have, I feel like these are kind of like, what do they call that? Cue cards. Look at Winnie the Pooh. You guys, my daughter dressed up as Winnie the Pooh. We made her a costume. Oh gosh, she was probably third grade, maybe fourth grade. And we had like that gold color sweatshirt and sweatpants. And we had a little red top that I made her. And she had a hood with little ears. And anyway, that reminds me of Corey when she was younger. But our Winnie the Pooh is 30% off. And it includes the Reminisce Vintage Winnie the Pooh, Classic Winnie the Pooh from Simple Stories, and Echo Park's Christmas Winnie the Pooh, the Baby Winnie the Pooh, House on Pooh Corner, the Winnie the Pooh albums. So everything to do with Winnie is 30% off through Sunday. So get your Pooh? Get your Pooh while you can get it at 30% off. All right, Becky?
Yeah.
And Janet just linked it. It's all in our specials category. If you go to memorybound.com and go to shopping, and you'll see specials right at the top, and it's all right there. And Janet Yippee has got it all linked for us. And everybody, let's say welcome to Janet because she's here virtually from Texas, linking and drinking and helping us answer questions. So, Becky, do you want to tell us a little bit about Becky? Like, maybe things you like to do, your craft style, and then show us your projects.
I like more grungy. I like 49 and Market, Elizabeth Craft, Tim. But I do some cheery things for my grandkids, but otherwise it's mainly
you like the vintage,
vintagey
grungy,
stuff.
And are you about an hour from memory bound? A
No,
half
it's
an hour?
about 35,
35
40
minutes?
minutes. I don't know,
Okay.
somewhere around there.
Well, we appreciate you coming in this morning on your free day and spending it with us. And we love your Mickey Mouse. Somebody commented on your shirt. We love your Mickey Mouse shirt. That's where we all want to go right now is to the beach.
But bring your sunscreen. I didn't take sunscreen this weekend. I got a little red.
Becky went boating without sunscreen.
My first time for the year, and I got a little red. But
I had another friend that did that, Becky, that she showed up somewhere and she was all sunburned. And she says, I didn't think I needed sunscreen because it's been so beautiful here.
It's been gorgeous.
And it's not miserably hot.
Yeah.
It's no humidity. So, but we are a little dry. We need some rain.
Yes, we do.
A lot of people are saying hey to Janet. So we love that Janet's here. And Janet is, we're working on Janet's latest card kit, just to let everybody know that we'll be launching next month. And it is a pet dog card kit, which is pretty cool. Kim says, we're lucky to have Becky to get our Tim fix. And Kim, I love that you said that. It is so true. So very true. Well, do you want to show us? Well, we're going to be flipping cameras around here, everybody. So where do you want to start?
First, I wanted to show. Last time I showed a technique, but everybody wanted the impresslet. And that's not what I was trying to show. I was trying to show the technique versus impresslet. So they brought a die over, and I said, no, that won't work. You need embossing folders, blah, 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 blah. So
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I like blah, 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 blah.
So I wanted to show something that you can do with the same technique because I felt bad because everybody wanted this thing. So I'm going to show you can do.
All right. Well, let's switch cameras.
Okay.
That might be easier to show it. And we can take the brown off if we need to, too.
That should be fine.
Okay. Ooh,
so this is what it is with just an embossing folder to make it look metallic. And all you do is rub the luster wax over it, like I did with the
So you embossed it, and then after you embossed it, rub luster wax, and you started with black?
Yeah. So then when they were showing me a frame, they used this die. They showed this die, and I'm like, no, that won't work. Well, it will work, but I had forgotten that you can use, let me get it over here.
Here, we can scoot your stuff over for you.
This, there, go ahead. It's a rubber mat that you can turn any die into an embossing folder. And I learned it here on a memory bound video, but I had totally forgotten what this rubber mat was for until I got home, and I'm like,
and turn it the other way, Becky, and it needs to be, there you go.
There. But it's just a rubber mat that you use in place of the secondary, or the...
It's called, instead of the cutting plate. Yeah. So you use one cutting plate.
Well, you use both cutting plates. It's that extra flip thing.
Oh, okay. Instead of the tab.
And there's instructions in the...
That's a silicone rubber from Sizzix.
Yeah.
And Becky, how much is that? In case people are asking.
$8.99.
So it's $8.99, and it works with your Big Shot.
Yeah. So I thought I'd show you, but give you a couple hints. The die that I use, of course, it's not back there anymore either.
That's okay.
So I pulled some more that we'll show later. But this is what the die does. It makes this little frame.
Okay.
So at first I took it, and I used my little thing, and I embossed it. But it needed to be cut. So then I used my die to cut it. Well, then it flattened. And I don't know if you can see, but it flattened.
Up close we can see it really well.
But it flattened everything I did. So that did not work. So then I took and cut it and then embossed it.
And then you put I put
the luster wax. So here's different ones that it did. I did. Let's see there. So I did that. So then I thought, well, it's still not a frame. So then I fussy cut the inside. So so it's kind of like what I did on the other video. So you can do that. But that one wasn't there. So I found a couple others that you could do it at that was Elizabeth Craft. But you can use this one, which is, does it have a number?
Usually it says it on the front.
It's $24.59. It's ornamental frame. And that would,
other way. Becky's used to doing things upside down.
By the middle of the video, I should be okay. But that would make a pretty
Oh my gosh,
embossing
that'd be
folder as well.
gorgeous.
And there's different layers, so you could use just the inside, the outside. But I would cut whatever you're going to do first and then emboss. And same thing with this one. And it's Autumn Fancy Frame, $21.85. And
That
they're
would be beautiful,
both
Becky.
$19.99. But they would make pretty embossing folders as well. Or not embossing folders, but
You could emboss with them.
Yeah.
And Becky, we need to show the luster
Yeah.
wax too.
and here's two of the luster waxes, the
Oh, you got it.
gold
I brought over gold
and
and
the
silver.
silver. And there's a rose gold as well. That's pretty. And I've done all three of those here. It's silver, rose gold, and
Oh, you got all
gold.
three colors.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, but when you use this thing,
The silicone rubber.
the silicone rubber, you put your die upwards. So you're gonna, and then
Oh.
you put your paper, and then you put this, and then your
and then your
top
plate.
cutting plate, and you run it through.
So your die goes upside down,
Upside
kind of like
down.
a turtle laying on his
Yeah.
back.
And
See,
all-
everyone's going to remember it now.
Yeah, and all the instructions are inside this on how to do it. So say I won't remember it, you can it with this. And you can use it with all kinds of dies. It doesn't have to be a frame. It could be any type of thing just to give it, to emboss it. If you think, oh, that would be kind of cool trying to emboss it, try it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just felt bad that I was showing something. I was trying to show the technique.
that's all right.
And
But you figured out. Thank you for
so,
coming back and showing us a different way to do it.
so I just wanted to
The
clarify that.
impresslets they were something made by Sizzix that are no longer available. We might have a couple. I don't know if anybody looked that when you were here to
Yeah,
see
they
if we
did.
had any.
No, they're long gone.
Okay.
And then I was playing yesterday, so I had to show this super quick before we get started. Those Lindy things,
Oh, the Lindy powder, the
Yes.
magical powders.
these are the three I used, and I just sprinkled them on, and I used Darcy in Denim, Dreamy Desert Rose, and what's this one? Lavender Summer Sage. And you just sprinkle them on, spray it with water with your
That's
mister,
really
and then
pretty.
this is what you get. And it's shimmery, and I don't know if you, well, there, I think you can see shimmer. But it just makes a pretty thing that you can cut at with or use as a background on a card, whatever you want. But I just had to show, just sprinkle and just play. It turned
Yeah,
out
those
really
are
pretty.
awesome.
All right, now we're ready to show what I was going to show.
So that was our preview.
Yes, that's it.
So how to emboss with your dies.
Yes.
And then using the Lindy's magical powders.
Okay. I'll show this quick.
No,
I
not
was-
quick. That is amazing.
I was inspired by Teresa's Tim doll. So last night about 4 o'clock, I thought I'm going to try one. And I didn't have a pattern and I didn't draw anything out, which I probably should have. But I just ripped some brown material, just cut a U-shaped, cut out this part. Now this part I should have drawn because I cut it and one side was bigger than the other. So then I had to trim it. And then that side was bigger. So then I had to trim it. So it took a little
I
bit
know,
before I
but
got
it's
that.
perfect. It's so cute.
And I cut a little tongue.
Oh my
um,
gosh, everybody loves them.
I just had some strips, thin strips, so I folded them over and zigzagged it, put a knot in the end for the arms and the legs. For the ears, I just made triangles, and then I put a little bit of wire in the end and bent it in half, and then folded the ears over.
Becky, that's so cute. Everybody's loving it.
I took buttons and just glued them on. I was not in the mood to sew them on, so I didn't sew. And then for the little dots, I just took a Posca pin. I was going to
that's a
embroider.
Posca pin?
Yeah, I was going to embroider it, and I thought, you know what? It's 5 o'clock
Well,
at night by the time I got to that
We
point.
know
and
that
I thought,
Posca pin works really well on fabrics.
yeah, so I just made a couple dots, and
I love that little tongue and his belly. That is so cute.
then of course I had to do a tail. And since it's Scrappy, I did it kind of off center.
I love the tail and
So-
everything about it.
So, and it's just,
Everyone's loving it. There's lots of comments about it.
and I didn't do the arms the same length. I did them one up and one down, and this one's longer.
Because he's Scrappy.
Yeah.
Does he have a name?
No, I thought I'd see if the granddaughter wants it, and then she can name
She
it.
can name it.
Yeah. But they have, if you look on Pinterest, there's frogs and Halloween stuff and cats and witches and cute dolls and
We, our friend Leanne, who used to work here and moved far, far away, she's the one that got Teresa started in it. And we've got Teresa's
Yeah.
here. I brought over Ticket Tim,
yeah.
so you guys could check out
he's
Ticket Tim
adorable.
again, that Teresa designed.
That's what got me started because I'm like, that is just too cute.
Don't you just want to make a whole bunch of them?
Yeah, and it was so quick. I couldn't believe. I bet it was probably an hour and a half and I was done.
So is that the neutral fabric?
I used some of this. I used,
That's the fat quarter for his
I used some of the
neutral
browns.
palette.
I used the map.
I just realized
And
the
then-
map is his ears and his
Yeah,
stomach. That's really cute.
And then I also used some of this one because I didn't have a lot of the brown. I didn't get this whole thing. I got part of it.
And that's the monochromatic,
Yeah,
which is nice. A lot of lighter colors in there.
And I don't remember what I used in here, but I used some of this,
And then the pink collage.
Yeah, for his tongue. I just took a section of pink and cut out a tongue. So,
Ruby's going to do it for her granddaughter's birthday.
yep.
That would be awesome.
So I
we said
thought I'd
scrap dolls.
I thought I'd show them this, see if people want one. Then I'll make a bunch for my grandkids, and they can pick
Oh.
what kind of animal they want. They had
Oh
a
my
cute frog
God.
one too, that I thought would be fun for
Those
my
are really
cabin.
cool. So she made those with the monochromatic fat quarter bundle, the pink collage from the palette,
Yep.
and then the neutral, some of the neutral papers from the neutral palette.
Yeah.
Very, very fun, Becky.
So
Everybody loves it.
it's fun and quick.
I think that project alone has inspired a lot of people already.
Well, and because it's so scrappy, you don't really know how. I don't know how to sew really well, so you just make it sloppy.
Well, I think that's the whole thing about what makes them
And
so
it's
darn
fun.
cute.
So I'll probably stitch the eyes on next time, but
Hey,
for now,
I
I thought
know,
it
but
was
if that's
something.
easier to glue them and use a Posca pen, I'm all for it.
Yeah. So that's what I did last night.
Becky, there's some people that are saying they're having a little trouble with it our video cutting in and out, and we've checked into it, and it appears that it's a Facebook thing. That over on YouTube it's just fine. And Janet did link the YouTube channel, so if you want to hop over on YouTube and watch us, you can certainly do that. Or hopefully maybe the Facebook thing will clear itself out. We don't always have control over that, I'm afraid. So, what is next?
So I started this folio at a crop probably 2 or 3 years ago, and
3 years ago.
all I got done was this middle section, putting paper on this little fold-out piece, and that's this Tim's folio.
It's the accordion folio.
Yeah. And that's what it kind of looks like, but it's $6.99, and it's
I like
all
that
the
one.
bases there.
I like that one a lot. It's all put together except for that middle piece, and you attached it. It looks like some people attach it, some people leave it.
You can leave it loose. You can make this as a pocket. You can make this as a pocket. You can do all kinds of stuff. And this can be open. It can be put as a pocket. You decide how you want to do it. And you can add extra flips or tucks, whatever you want. But this is all. Where is it at? Here.
Becky's got a whole bundle of stuff, you guys.
This has all kinds of doors and windows. There's the door I used. I popped out these screens and then put these sticker people in there. And then I had this skeleton, and I put 2 eyes in there just to make them creepier. And then one of the, what do you call these things?
The
Quote chips?
chipboard quote chips. Yes, good job.
And I love metals dangly things hanging.
Those are cool.
So on the edges here, I put the black velvet Tim's ribbon trims, and I used black. And I started on the inside and just glued it.
Oh, that's what you have like
and
on the
glued
spine.
it here on both sides. And then I just took the pin and just hooked it into the ribbon.
Can you turn that on its spine? There you go, just so people can get a better idea.
So I just put the pin in there, and then it's kind of glued in pretty good. And then I added one of these dangly things, and then the loop pins, and I just added all kinds of charms, tokens, all kinds of stuff that I had.
I bet you have a lot of goodies in your stash.
I love especially Halloween. So I have to have little danglies on
And
all
Becky, I love that you're doing Halloween year round.
Yeah. So then I flipped over this part and I glued the edges so I could make a pocket. Just put stickers, and then out of his sticker books, the little words. I took the Halloween ephemera.
I love this stuff.
Had a moth with a skeleton head, and then had this. This was a little frame, and it looked kind of nice, so I had to age it up with that spray, antique linen.
Okay, so the antique linen spray.
I inked everything with scorched timber. And then on all the little stickers, I outline it with a little pen. And then I just had little stories about each person. This was a sticker as well. And here I had a piece of ephemera about an undertaker and a picture. And so I just had a story about him. On this part, I just had a piece of ephemera with stickers. Same thing with here. I had a picture. I added stickers. And then I just did the same thing all the way across. And they're all just ephemera. They're paper dolls. A paper doll with bat wings.
So that you just ephemera. Got out your stash and
just put it all in. And
put stuff on there.
Yeah, and every page has stickers and people. And then I did the other side and did the same thing.
Now, a lot of the Halloween ideology is sold out.
Yeah.
Although I think we have the backdrops.
But if you haven't.
Oh, no, we don't.
Yeah, Halloween's, you need to get it when it's out.
And I don't know we do have the
I got the
ephemera, the paper dolls.
Yep, I got those here. This has ephemera. It has a lot of ephemera. It's got ephemera in the paper dolls. So this you could decorate the whole book with.
You could probably use the regular.
So this would be good to use. It just wouldn't have your stickers, but you don't have to, or if you have supplies, because a book lasts you forever. And they're kind of like this, but this is a snarky one, which I'll show in the next one. So we've got that, and I just added some more ephemera, a little flare, and a bat that I had. Same thing with here. It's more, and I think those bugs are probably in here as well. But you just put your ephemera in, play, and then on the back, fold in all my pieces. There was in my ephemera, that, and I think it's in this one too, it was just like a funeral card, and then I put a picture of the person that I thought it was.
Do you use antique linen spray?
Yes.
Or
Spray.
Spray. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you already answer that?
No, I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm not. Was I supposed to be watching?
No, I did not.
So, and I, like I said, I inked it. I sprayed it with antique linen, and I inked all this stuff with scorched timber.
So it's the antique linen distress spray that we have on order. We're sold out, but we have it coming. And here's this. Did you use regular distress ink? Or?
Yes.
And there's the scorched timber, which is one of my new favorite colors because I mix it with, vintage photo or another brown.
And this one looks different. It can look kind of grayish, brownish, greenish even, depending on what kind of background you're using it on.
And you guys, that was Tim's final distress color. So you should have it just because it's the last color in the collection.
And I use other browns, but this is my go-to usually. It's the one sitting right there, so I usually end up using it. So it's just a fun little folio, and you can use this for anything, but it's just the idea is already there for you in this.
Yeah, show us the folio again, if you would, please.
Here's the folio, and it's just the accordion folio because it's got this accordion piece in the center. But here it shows they made a pocket here that they could put stuff in, and they did a pocket here, but you can leave this as a flap as well. And then they have the flap down below. And you can glue that up as if you want to as well. So it's whatever you want. It does come with this, so you can tie it shut.
Diane has actually stamped on that, and
I've
then
done that
inked
too,
it to
yeah.
shabby it up.
Yep. But I didn't think this needed, because I had all this stuff here. I didn't
Yeah.
want to tie it shut. And it folds flat, so you don't really
It
have to
does,
use
maybe
it.
with all that good stuff on the front of it.
Yeah. But I knew I couldn't be dimensional inside because of all the
Right.
stuff, so I just did dimension on the
Well, I
outside.
love it. The
So-
front of that, Katie and I were like looking at and going, oh my gosh,
I just love these people. They're so funny.
they are. It's funny. Becky, we have a squirrel question while you
Yes.
get to your next project. Barbara's asking about Janet's card kits, and she's got one coming out called Hot Diggity Dog, and then she's got one she's working on with the Rust and Revs from 49 and Market. And then she has another one that she's working on, and I can't remember the name of the collection. But so Janet's actually working on 3 different card kits, and none of them are available yet, but we'll be sure and let you know when they are. And that's it. That's the update on That's the update on Janet's kits.
That's it. I bought Snarky stickers, but I can't give these to a lot of people because some people might get offended. They might not like Snarky as well as I do. So I thought, what am I going to do with all these Snarky stickers? And since I like it, I decided to make a folio using the Snarky stickers. So that's what I did here.
Oh my gosh.
And for this base, I used the material one, but I didn't see that over there. The material, Tim Holtz material.
His material, like
Folio. I mean, it's
yes,
like,
sorry.
you know.
Yes, we are out of those. They're on order.
So that's all I started with was this. And it looks kind of crummy over here, but because I sprayed some antique linen in like the edges and stuff. So that's what I used as my base. And then another dangly again that I just put in on the side.
We love the danglies.
And added more charms again and keys and stuff. So then I made pockets. And I used the brown again, and I like this typewriter thing. And on everything, I did a snarky comment. Like, here's a lady, and it said, I survived a meeting that should have been an email. And then I had some of these tin lids that are really old, and it was a typewriter ribbon. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to use that on there. And I did another comment. And then on the back, I did a paper doll with another little snarky comment. So when I'm feeling like I need a little prick me up, I can read all these snarky.
You like the snarkies?
Yes.
Those are good.
So, and I'm not done yet because I'm trying to use all the colors of the fabrics as they come out.
So those are, okay. So you
So
have
here's
lots
the
of,
bronze. Yeah.
all right. So you got the neutral on the front.
Yeah. So these pockets don't have anything in them, but they will eventually. So I used the pink ones fabrics here and paper dolls, and I used frosted crystal on all the paper dolls, and then I used watercolor pencils to color them in. And some of them is just a light color.
Okay, so frosted crystal.
And I forgot to grab
Let me
it.
grab it. So that's like an embossing powder.
And you put it on there because the paper dolls are real shiny and slick. And I didn't want that look, so it gives it kind of a bumpy, and I don't know if you can really see that. There, maybe you can, the little bumpy part. And then you just color it in. Again, I used the Snarky scissors and I made a pocket here, a pocket here. I decorated the pockets and I decorated the main sheets of it. And when I go to do these, sometimes I'll sew the pocket on or the lace ahead of time, and then I'll put the 2 pieces together and stitch around the edges. So I had to do 2 pages at one time. And then on this little paper doll, it looked like she was sitting. So I put a piece of ephemera across there to have her sit on it. And I'm like, that looks kind of silly, just this loose piece of paper sitting on this thing. So I decided to make a swing out of it. So I poked a hole on each side of the ephemera.
Oh my gosh, Becky.
Used twine, tied a knot at the end of the twine, and then just glued it up to make a little swing for her to swing on.
I love it. I think it's really amazing.
So, and then if you don't stitch the top, like here, I can put I went ahead and stitched this before I stitched it down to the page, just the top. And then I have a pocket here that I can stick a tag in. And then when I flip it over, I did the same thing. I stitched this first so I could put a tag in between. I can put 2 tags on between these 2 pages on this page. That makes sense?
Yep. So the you started with the fabric folio journal, and that those are out of stock, but we have them on order, and they've been on back order, so that's why we don't have any.
Yeah.
Which I think is helpful, Becky, because it gives you a starting point.
Yes, it's your base, and then you just stitch the stuff on.
And then you just have so many creative things.
So this I just took, and here I can show you back here, because I've got one that's ready. This is ready. I've got the black, but I don't have another piece. Okay. So I just put pins on there to hold it. I haven't decorated this yet, but I'll put another piece here when the next color comes out.
So you're going to try to put all the
different colors.
Fabric colors? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So I'll put that in there, and then I'll stitch that and have that done. So that's what I do. But on the top, if you want a pocket, you just you stitch this ahead of time.
Leave it open.
Well, you stitch this first.
Stitch it first, and then.
And then I don't do anything else. Like here, I stitch this ribbon just because I didn't want to try to hold that straight.
Yeah.
So you just got to think a little bit ahead, but not. But you can make pockets. Like here, I just sewed this all the way around. This one, I stitched this first and then went around.
Well, I think most of us feel that Tim Holtz needs to hire you, Becky, or get you on the design team or something, or at least Free Spirit Fabrics. That's who does his fabrics, because this is really super amazing.
And I made Christmas one. I made a Halloween one. And you don't need to know how to sew for this, because you've got your base book. You're just sewing it.
I think that's what's great. You don't have to be a seamstress.
No.
And you guys, you can go to our blog at memorybound.com and click on our blog. And if you search on Becky, because you brought those books here and has shown them, so you can search on Becky and see all of her cool projects and things that she's made and shared with us.
And this, I just took a tag and sewed material on, and I didn't do it up to the hole. I just did a rectangle on both sides, and then just took my people again, my stickers, one of the old milk caps, and it's in some of the ephemera now too. And this was a paper doll, and I put lace across for her to stand on, and then some transparent moth wings.
Do you know how funny that sounds? You put lace for her to stand on. I know it's to ground the image and everything.
To ground
it's just kind of funny when you think
about it. But these snarky things, like this one says, how much better would life be if Liar's pants really did catch on fire?
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean,
I've not really read through all those snarky comments, but I do love
they're hysterical. Like here, is your drama going to have an intermission soon?
That is hilarious. Yeah, you need to keep reading them to us, because I think that's so fun.
This one says, words cannot express how much I just don't care. And this little girl, she says, I have absolutely no desire to fit in. Sometimes I wonder how I put up with you, and then I remember, oh, you put up with me, so we're even. So it's just kind of fun, and you just stick it in your little pocket.
And just, I just want to remind people too, there's also the Big Talk Snarky, which is probably a lot of similar comments.
Yeah.
And a lot of these prices are going up. We still have these at the previous retail price, but as soon as they are back in stock, the prices will be increased, because that was it $6.99 now?
$7.29.
It's going to be eight something when the next batch comes in, because everything is increasing, you guys.
And I have some friends that I can send this to, but a lot of people I can't use my Snarky. So that's why I decided.
They're for special people for sure, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. So, and like here, I added a bunch of lace all through this, as you can see.
It adds a lot, though.
And old material. So it's not like here, this was a piece of old material that I had. And this was just one of the collage material, the red one. And then this little girl, it says, I want you to know that someone cares. Not me, but someone.
Huh.
And then this one says, I like how she's holding this, because it says, excuse me, here's your nose. I found it in my business.
Oh, See, who thinks of that stuff?
And here it says, shh, no one cares. They just crack me up. So
They are really funny.
So this one, what they do different sizes, like here's smaller pages, but I took 2 here and I stitched them together. So on the here I would stitch ahead of time on both sides because I don't want to stitch them together. But I want it stitched all along here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to make a pocket that I can put
to
things
to
in.
put more stuff in.
Back
it seems
here,
to really expand well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. When I finish my books, they're nice and chunky. This one, I decided not to make a pocket. So I've got the small one here, and then I've got the small one here. So they're individual pages. They just give a different, little variety within the thing. So you can choose to leave them together or make a pocket. So I made a pocket here, and then I just made this little guy.
What's your Snarky say there?
It says, of course I talk to myself. Sometimes I need an expert opinion. And I haven't done the back to that because originally I thought about using the paper, but then I decided to use all material. So we'll fix that later, but tuck that back in.
Becky, everybody's loving your projects.
And I love this orange.
Mm-hmm.
The orange is just so pretty.
I'm not an orange person.
I'm not either, but I love this.
I know. When it came in, I just thought it was gorgeous, like you're saying. And I don't even know if we have the fat quarters left in the orange or not.
They're just
we do.
Pretty. And like this little girl, she said, a penny for your thoughts seems a little pricey. And then I made a pocket here, and I had forgotten when I made the pocket to stitch here so my fabric won't keep unraveling. So since I already had my pocket made, I just I propped it up a little bit, put something in there, and then put glue around the edges so that it won't ravel out anymore.
Like a Nouveau that dries clear or something like that. That's a good idea to keep it from unraveling.
Because I forgot. So if you forget, don't worry. just use a little glue.
Put a little glue on it. You don't even see it.
And I did it here too.
Stiffer too.
I did it here, but I forgot to add the glue. So I'll do that sometime. But this one says I've got it all together, but I forgot where I put it, which happens to me sometimes.
Yeah.
But here I had some antique lace and just added that to that. Had it colored in this little girl, and she said, I do this thing called What I Want. And this is a pocket that I sewed all the way around where this one comes up. And it says, one of us is right, the other one is you. This little guy, he just looked funny, like he was really mad.
He does.
It said, did you have to eat the whole bowl of stupid? And then I had this piece of crochet something, and I just cut it to make a pocket. And I put glue where I cut it so that it won't unravel.
Yeah, good idea.
So, and here I sewed a piece of just ribbon, or not ribbon, whatever that is. What do you call this? I'm drawing a blank.
Trim. I just call it trim.
Just sewed it across to make a pocket so I could put a tag in.
And
so
we have a question for you too. They want to know if you starch the fabrics at all to hold the body. No, she does not. Okay.
And all I do is I rip this stuff so it gives this rough edge. And I hold it up and say, okay, this is about how big I want this. So that I make a little cut and I just rip the whole thing.
That's how you measure?
Yeah.
I love it. It's awesome.
Because it's just kind of tossed together. It's not like a professional thing that you got to have a pattern or something. So I just rip it. And then this one says, I'm not childish. You're just a big duty head. And then sorry for the mean, thoughtful, hurtful, accurate things I said to you.
I like how it throws in that little word accurate.
Yeah. And this one I just, again, did a tag. And I put both pieces of fabric on, put where I wanted my lace, and so that the people could ground them.
Yeah, I know. I think that's funny.
And
so you could stand on the lace.
Yeah. And here it says I was going to give you a nasty look, but I see you already have one. I didn't mean to brag, but I finished my 14-day diet in 5 hours and 12 minutes. So,
that would be me, Becky. That fits me really well.
Yeah.
It's fun to hear all these snarky comments. And it's a fun idea to do a project that's just snarky.
Yeah, and it's just for me.
For fun.
Just and I'm just going to set it out. And if people want to read it, they can read it and see. I love this fabric. This is my favorite, I think, this green.
Oh yeah, the green.
And this was just a doily that I cut off part of it. And it was even in like the new reproduction things
Oh, it's
that
a
are
new
cheap.
one. It
Yeah.
looks old. How did you make it look
I
old?
sprayed antique linen on it.
Okay, so the antique linen distress spray.
And this one says, please cancel my subscription to your issues.
Oh my gosh, I love those.
And
I
this
love
little
those.
girl, I liked her too because she just has
She
that
fits
attitude.
she fits the comment for sure, the
It
sticker.
says, the pity train has just derailed at the corner of suck it up and move on. So in the last one, I put a piece of lace across the bottom for a pocket and added some gears. And it's because this was the black material that has gears on it.
Mhm.
So I thought, well, we'll just add some gears to it. And it says, well, that's a level of incompetent that I haven't seen before.
That's really
and
fun.
I'll finish this up with the different colors. And then when I run out, I'll do the rest of the colors with tags and stuff to stick in here.
Oh, that's how you're gonna. Because I'm thinking, Becky,
There's not enough pages.
There's quite a few more colors
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
And let's see, what should we be getting this month? I don't know if it will be teal.
Are they going in
blue?
order?
Yeah, I think they're kind of going in the rainbow order.
What was the last one? Green, wasn't it? So
Yes.
is it the steel?
I think it might be teal next.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It should be shipping this month.
So that's what I did.
That's so fun. And you know what? It's a great idea if you want to make a project for the fun of creating and for something for yourself. It doesn't always have to be,
No.
Something, with your own pictures and scrapbooking and all that. It's fun just to make a little funny thing.
And with my Christmas and Halloween, I did use the Christmas and Halloween material, but then I also added pictures all throughout the books.
Yeah.
So you can do it however you want to do it.
But I never thought about
play.
doing a Snarky project.
Well, the only
So
reason
show this again. So
the only
people can
reason
see
I
it.
did is, like I said,
And
I
here's
had
the
Snarky. Oh, you got the big ones
Snarky.
too. Is that I have both of these, and I'm like, I can never use these.
You can't use them up, really.
When I only have a few friends that I can give it to.
There's only a few people that you can make those for.
If I gave this to my mom, she would not be happy with me.
She's like, what? She might take it literally.
Yeah.
Take you seriously.
Yeah. So
yeah. So
that's why I did this
Snarky,
book.
the Tim Holtz Snarky.
Yep. And these are quick and easy to do. I mean, you just play and have fun. And you don't have to do it all at once. Like here, I've started it, and then I stopped, and then I added some more. And so
it's an ongoing project.
Yeah.
Very cool, Becky. I think that's really cool. Very fun.
So then I decided to try to make my own folio. So I've got the pattern.
Pretty. Oh my gosh.
So I kind of liked this type of folio type thing. And I don't know there's no pictures because I'm not sure what I'm going to put in it yet. So again, I like danglies, but I decided to put in an eyelet so that I could hang my because it's just a folder.
Good idea. You started with
two file folders.
Okay, so this is file folders, and we have them in lots of colors, and Janet can link those for us.
So, and I just, again, added buttons, charms, whatever. And to do this, and I forgot, I started this at the crop, and I forgot, I brought magnets.
Oh,
I'm adding my paper, and I forgot. So I use this clear, and I don't know if you can see.
That's the nice thing
it's
that you
right
can't
here,
see it.
And I don't know. There, you can kind of see it. It's that little dot there, but it really kind of is invisible. Now, on this side, you can see it, but on this side, you can't.
And those are
right here. It's these little tiny dots, and it's thin and clear, and you can't see that one side when you're looking at this project.
We learned those from Cindy Grant when she came in and showed projects.
Yeah.
We learned to bring those in from her. We had the other Velcro dots before, but those are cool because you don't see them.
Yeah, they just disappear within your page. But I meant to use magnets, and it just didn't happen.
But here we go. So if that happens to you, because it's happened to me before, where you put your paper on, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, shoot, I meant to put on my magnets, and I forgot. And there's a good way to fix it.
So I rounded the corners, and I used this nice little corner rounder.
We do love the corner rounder. I have that one now on my desk. I had the old, do you remember the Creative Memories one that's blue?
Yeah.
From like 25 years ago. And it's not easy to punch.
And this is
kept
nice.
wanting it to break, but I broke down and got one of these.
Well, it just does the 3 different sizes, and I like having just grab one and I can pick which one I want. And I just turn it over and they say, okay, this is it.
There it is, and it's $10.99, so it's a good
Yeah.
price.
And then the other one I used for the tags, and I didn't think I needed this either.
Chris made me buy that one.
This is nice too. If you don't want it, because I have a lot of tag dies, but this is nice. You can just make it quick.
That's a diagonal edge punch
Yeah.
from We Are also, and it's $11.99. Both of them are sitting on my desk right now, and I actually know where they're at, and I can see them. They're not buried.
Yep, I have that too. And then this is my new favorite.
Oh, thank you, Gloria.
The little notch. And that's what I use for the pocket here. And I've got a pocket over here that I notched both of them.
So that's the new notch and corner punch.
Yeah, and this is nice.
Gloria, our customer Gloria, kind of launched that here at Memory Bound. We'd had it before. We didn't even realize we'd had it. And then she was showing it at one of our retreats. So we brought it in, and we have sold a lot of those.
Yeah. So this is very nice.
Different.
It's on my desk too.
I like it better than using a circle punch. I've always used the circle punch.
I have too, but this is nice. So I started off with just this part, and I cut this out of the file. Where did I put it? Okay.
Oh, you brought
I made a little.
Oh my gosh, a diagram.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I can take pictures of this, everybody, for our blog.
So this is the folio right here. And then you fold it, and it's got your fold marks and your cut marks. And that's how I did this base. And then after that, I marked what I used and what I didn't use on both of these, because this one I did flaps and the tags and what I didn't use. But you can do anything you want to do, because here's the base of it. You could I did a little flap, but up here, I did another flap here, which you could have made bigger flaps. I made flaps here, but I made big ones. You could make littler ones. I made a pocket here and a pocket here. You could have added flips on here. You could add flips going out this way. The same with.
It's kind of like once you make one.
Once you make one,
then
you can just play.
Then you're going to get real creative with it.
You could make this longer. I could have made it come all the way down, and I could have made flips that went out. So just have fun.
Yeah.
But I just took and I used, what was that? Meadow or wallflower or meadow or the paper.
It's not Simple Stories.
No, this is Tim's.
Oh, that's Tim's.
The new old one that came back.
Yeah, Wallflower. I think it was
Wallflower.
Wallflower.
That's what I'm thinking.
From the vault.
So that's the papers that I used with this, because I'd been hoarding them, but since I got new ones, I decided I could do it. Yeah. So that's what all these papers are, but you can use any papers to make it look cheery, or if you want this. I just like the flowers and the way it looked. I did not ink this at all.
Oh my gosh.
This is how it comes, all antique.
Okay,
so
I am so shocked at that, because I thought for sure it looked inked, but it's just because the paper was
It's just that it's
vintagey.
Vintagey paper. I didn't need to ink. So I was like, well, this is nice. I don't have to ink.
Yeah, it looks good.
So I added just another flap, and all of these, I made it the edges so that I could build this up a little bit more, because if I didn't have these, it would be awful flat.
Right.
And you can't, by the time you
got
add,
your spine there that.
if you add pictures, ephemera, it starts bulking it. So I made 3/4 of a spine here, here, and here. So I should be able to bulk this up.
And we know you will bulk it up,
yes,
Becky.
Yes, I will. But that's why I didn't want a ton of stuff, because especially since these are bigger, I could add more pictures on these. I can do my tags.
You said do you have any idea what you might use for pictures?
No, that's why I haven't done it yet. I got to go through. I haven't had a lot of time. So I'm going to figure out what kind of pictures. It's going to be old pictures, but I just don't know of who or of what. But it'll be old since the papers are all old.
I like that you use the black file folder for that.
Yeah.
And we do have lots of colors, because you could do this. We have 2 new Doodlebug collections coming in. One is bees and one's like berries. And you could get a brightly colored
Yep.
file folder set, and you could do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So any materials, any type of look. And I did one of Katie's messy bows on this tag because these are all covered up. There's not going to be anything out. So I put messy bow on this and it was coming out and I'm like, it looks so silly having one messy
Just
bow.
having one instead of having more.
So I took it out and I had this little ribbon. So I put it on there and tied it with twine. Because I'm like, it just didn't work for this project. And I added a couple metal clips just because I like metal in with my stuff. So I'll go and I'll decorate this. But I did, like I said, I put the pattern on here. So if you want to do it, it's there. And I put where I put it. And I've got a blank one done. So if I decide to do this again.
Oh, like a prototype.
So I've got here where you can
that's
see.
a great idea.
So Kelly could take a picture of this too to say,
Yes,
okay,
I will.
here's flap A, here's flap B, here's that. So you can cut these out and then know where to put them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'll take a picture of that for sure.
So that
a
kind
lot
of
of people, like I think Chris does this, and a lot of people, Janet, Diane, they make prototypes so that when you go to make it again, you don't feel like you're reinventing the wheel and trying to figure out how to do it. Can you get us some scrap cardstock that we can show how this works, please, Janine?
So anyway, that's what I did. And then, like I said, this one just shows the two flaps and tags. But if you wanted to do like this, if you wanted to make this one longer, you could use it here.
Yeah, just do another spot.
Yeah. If you wanted more tags, you could make more tags and you could cut them out of here.
Well, and this is perfect because our month of May, we're going to try to show more folios. And that is perfect. And we've already got somebody, Shannon says she can't wait to make it.
So.
And Becky, is there a reason why you picked the file folder to do that? Thank you.
Because they're heavier.
Well, it does seem to be a little denser, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you could choose to do it out of a heavier or maybe a thin chipboard, maybe even, but just something to give you a solid base. But I did it because, one, it's a little thicker. Two, when I was doing this fit really good right there.
It was a perfect fit.
Because I knew I kind of wanted this closure. So that's why I thought, well, I can use it.
Well,
folder.
And we also have a junk starter kit coming out with Katie where she's using a red file folder and making kind of a folio with it too. So you guys, here's two options you're getting from Memory Bound on just how to use a file folder, to start with a file folder and make a cool project.
Well, Katie in the past has shown many.
Yeah, and we have directions for a couple of her folios out there online.
Yeah, I'm
the
using
basic one, and she'll probably show those next week too.
Yeah, because you can go out and look at Katie, search Katie and folios, and
it'll pop up.
There's quite a few because that's how I started doing them with file folders, was watching her videos and finding out, that you can, once you do, the first one is going to be a little you're a little like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Yeah, once you do it.
But once you do one, you figure out, I can maybe I want another flip here. Maybe I want this and that. You'll feel confident enough to start adding your own stuff.
So Becky, we had a request to show how to use the punch. So, and I've got some paper here that Janine brought us. Because it is a little different punch, but I think it's pretty cool myself. I just purchased that one for myself.
You just push it and it makes a little notch. Now, Gloria showed how you can cut this off and make a file folder.
Make a file folder, yeah.
And you can make multiple file folders, like the 3 tabs, by just moving it over.
Someone else said they saw a video that you can make an envelope out of that.
Yes, you can, because this, I think it might even be in here.
I haven't done it. I have not done it, but.
All right, where's that one at? That's
what you need.
Well, this one. Is it still here?
The punch?
Yeah. I think the punch has directions, doesn't it, on how to. What'd you do? Rip it open?
I opened it. I said I just bought this one for myself. So here's the packaging.
I thought,
Did we put our sticker over it maybe?
oh, maybe it doesn't have it. Maybe you've got to go in, but it says you can make an envelope. Oh, here it shows. You can make a notch in the middle of the
just make
four.
all your
I
notches
thought it had
and
it,
then
yeah.
fold it in.
And then you fold it in.
I better save that packaging then, hadn't I?
Yeah, because then you can make an envelope, and you can round. You can also. This is a corner rounder as well. You put this in, and it rounds your corner. So it does both.
So it's pretty handy, and it's $10.99, so it's a really good price also.
Yeah. Wasn't there something else at the crop? They showed how to make a folder. Wasn't there something else?
I was thinking about the folder one is the one I thought it was.
I can't remember. Seems like somebody else had another idea, but I can't think what it was now. I should have written it down.
That's all right. That I
But
don't
it just-
remember another idea.
I mean, it makes it cool. You could make a little,
It's a really handy tool.
Pocket?
And yeah.
you can make a tall skinny one like a coin
Hmm.
folder. You could do, but it's just so simple.
And it punches nice
Yeah.
too.
You can't just go like this. You got to use your whole hand.
Yeah. Put a little pressure on it.
Yeah. But it works great. I like it now because I use it quite a
I
bit
think
now.
it's cool. I think it's really neat
But I have to admit, I haven't been using the corner rounder because I usually get my.
because you have that out.
I have
anyway.
this out and I've got this out. So when I want my corners, I look at, okay,
Oh,
which size do
okay.
I want? And then I stick it in.
Right, because you can get more sizes.
Yeah. But it's right there. You could.
If you don't have a corner rounder, it's
Yeah,
kinda
this would be
nice.
great if you don't have one because then you just pop it in and round both. Oops, that didn't work very well. What did I do? Not have it in there? Probably didn't have it in there right. And what? All right,
Nice
this is a
demo
good.
for everybody.
Well, what
Well,
am I doing wrong?
it came out perfect the first
It
time. There
did.
might be something stuck in there.
There, that's better.
Um,
So anyway, that's what that is. Oops.
All right. Well, look at all those punches, all those nice punches.
So
You
anyway,
could probably do a border with that. You
Yeah.
could punch those notches and make a border like every inch or 2 inches or whatever it might be, and you could just.
oops, that's a little.
No, that's
Yeah,
cool.
So there, you can
That's
play
really
with it and do
cool.
whatever you want.
It does more than you think.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
Any questions?
let's bring these out, and then I'm going to. Becky shared some amazing projects with us today, and we absolutely love that.
Oops.
And she's wrestling them around now.
There.
And I'm looking to see if we have any questions. Becky, I'm going to flip the camera
Okay.
back. Get this up out of the way. Okay, yeah, I guess I flipped the camera back, but there we are. Okay, Becky's
Yeah.
back. Let's see. Karen says she's going to make one of Chris's tablet folders
Yeah.
today. Those are really fun too.
Mhm.
And that we also learned from Gloria. So Becky,
There's a lot out there.
I think this camera has died or something. You're on, but on here I don't see anything. So it's kind of funny. All right. Well, anyway, thank you so very much, Becky.
What?
Lisa says you can always use a new tool.
Yes, you can.
And that is so true.
Yes.
But thank you for coming in today
Oh, you're
and
welcome.
showing us your amazing projects. I think we all had a little bit of Tim Holtz today. Whenever Becky comes, she's kind of a Tim Holtz queen and
Yeah.
always gets a lot of
Yeah.
cool projects for us to see. And we appreciate it a lot
Well,
because
thanks.
that you spent some time on those projects. I know. And let's see, Janet's linking. It looks like we're good to go.
Good.
So you guys, speaking of folios in May, tomorrow, Chris is going to be here. She's here for the next 2 days because her folio is going to take 2 days. So she's going to actually make one and show us. And Becky Val is going to make one of your Scrappy dogs today.
Good.
She
Have
said
fun.
she can't wait.
So
so
it won't take very long.
So everyone have a great day. And we will be back tomorrow, same time. Remember that we do have the free magazine. We didn't even tell you about it, but we do have the free magazine available for you that you're going to want to check out for sure. It's free with a $50 purchase. So that's still going on, and we'll see you tomorrow.